Good morning, students of ninth class. This is your science class, and I hope you all are staying well at your places. In today's session, we will continue with lesson number 14, that is natural resources. We have started this chapter last week. In this chapter, we have already studied about the introduction of air, water, and soil, that are physical resources. And now, today we will study about air, water, and soil pollution, and also holes in ozone layer and probable damage. This chapter consists of 3 videos, and this is video number 2. In this, we will study about the topics that I have already told you. Now, students, I want to give you some instructions from this part of Unit 4, that is Natural Resources. Every student has to prepare a brief write-up on any one concept. This will be a part of portfolio for internal assessment. This portion will not be assessed in the year-end examination. It means Natural Resources, chapter number 14, you have to prepare one write-up. There is no need to write question answers or write anything about this chapter in your notebooks, but you have to prepare one write-up which is a part of portfolio, and it will be internally assessed. In case of any doubt, you may send it to class email address class9th.vips.ldh@gmail.com. Click a clear picture of your doubt and convert it in PDF form and mail it to above given address. Now let's proceed with air pollution. First of all, there is definition of air pollution according to WHO. That means World Health Organization. Air pollution is the presence of undesirable materials, that is pollutants, in the air in such concentrations which are harmful to man and his environment. It means air pollution is presence of undesirable material. Undesirable means which is not required, which is not desired, that are pollutants in such concentrations, that mean in such amount which is harmful for man as well as his environment and also animals. Now, natural sources of air pollution: volcanic eruptions, dust storms, forest fires, marsh gas, pollen, spores, etc. are natural sources of air pollutions. That means all these are the sources by which air pollution is created naturally. Now, there are some man-made sources of air pollution. Exhaust gases emitted by automobiles, that is man-made source of air pollution. Excessive burning of petroleum products like wood and coal, that means petroleum products, wood and coal, burning of these products is also source of air pollution. Thermal power plants releasing fly ash, that means the power plants which provide us electricity or any source of power, that also release fly ash, which is a source of air pollution. Pollutants released by industries, that is also a source of air pollution. Pesticides and fertilizers used to enhance crop field, but these are source of air pollution. Chlorofluorocarbons used in refrigeration industries is also an important source of air pollution. Deforestation, that means cutting off forest, cutting off trees, that is called deforestation. Due to cutting off trees, we don't get uh, appropriate amount of oxygen from the atmosphere, which leads to air pollution. Air pollutants produce three harmful products. First is SPM, suspended particulate matter. Smoke, it is a mixture of smoke and fog. Acid rain, it is caused by the presence of excess of nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. SPM, suspended particulate matter. These are particulate air pollutants because they remain suspended in air for long period of time. SPM consists of smoke, unburnt carbon, fly ash, dust, etc. Now next is smoke, which is a mixture of smoke and fog that I have already told you. It is dark brown or grayish smoky mist that is formed in cold weather. Next is acid rain. It is caused by the presence of excess of nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. Now next is effects of air pollution. Irritation in eyes, throat and lungs. The pollutant gases like oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, they produce irritation in eyes, throat and lungs. It also causes cancer and heart diseases. That means the gases injure lungs, liver, kidney, spleen and also our nervous system. They even cause cancer and they are also responsible for increase in the heart diseases. SPM. Already I have told you about SPM, which means suspended particulate matter, causes asthma, bronchitis and allergic cold. Hydrocarbons in atmosphere produces carcinogenic effects. Chlorofluorocarbons causes ozone depletion that we will discuss later in today's lecture. Ozone depletion will be a complete topic that will be discussed later in this chapter. Increasing amount of carbon dioxide is causing global warming. Increasing amount of carbon dioxide causes global warming. It is also called greenhouse effect. When in excess, carbon dioxide forms an envelope around the earth which prevents heat from earth's surface from escaping into space, resulting in the rise of atmospheric temperature. This is resulting in melting of polar ice, glaciers and subsequent flooding in the coastal areas. Now next is water pollution. Water pollution may be defined as any physical, chemical or biological change in the properties of water due to the addition of undesirable substances which have adverse effect on human and aquatic life. It means there is a change in physical properties. If water is polluted, you can see it physically. क्लियर वाटर से बिल्कुल डिफरेंट नजर आएगा. केमिकली ऑल्सो इट change its composition and there is biological change in the properties of water also. That means some organisms, they are added into the water which pollute the water, and these all changes, that means this water pollution have adverse effect on humans as well as aquatic life. Natural sources of water pollution: soil erosion, leaching of minerals, heating of surface of large reservoir. These are the natural sources of water pollution. There are few man-made sources also. Man-made sources of water pollution are discharge of untreated sewage, pesticides and fertilizers, industrial effluents and hot water, thermal pollutants. All these are the sources of man-made sources of water pollution. Now, what are the consequences of water pollution? Consequences means result of water pollution. Fertilizers cause eutrophication of water bodies. Now students, what is the meaning of eutrophication? Sometimes definition is asked, but you have to clear this in your write-up or brief write-up that you will write. Phosphates and nitrates dissolved in water act as nutrients and they accelerate the growth of algae. Their excessive growth on the water surface is called algal bloom, which leads to the death of submerged plants that consume it for decomposition. Bloom formation reduces light and submerged plants and they get killed. Oxygen dissolved in water is consumed by algae for respiration. This is called eutrophication, which means reduced oxygen in water kills fish and other animals living in the water. and this is due to increase in the number of blue-green algae, which use all the oxygen, and fish and other organisms that live in water, they do not get oxygen. Pesticides are biocide toxins that harm aquatic organisms. Mercury from paper industry causes Minamata disease. Dumping of sewage in water bodies causes waterborne diseases like cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, jaundice, etc. Now we start with soil pollution. What is the definition of soil pollution? Removal of useful components from the soil and the addition of other substances which adversely affect the fertility of soil and kill the soil organisms is known as soil pollution. It means removal of useful components and addition of substances which affect the fertility of the soil adversely, and it also kill the organisms that live in the soil. This is known as soil pollution. Causes of soil pollution. Solid waste from homes and offices when dumped on land lead to the soil pollution. Industrial wastes are washed down into soil and pollute it. Use of large amount of fertilizers and pesticides turn fertile land into barren land. Now, there is one term, soil erosion. What is meaning of soil erosion? The removal of top layer of the soil by wind and rainfall is known as soil erosion. Factors responsible for soil erosion. First is overgrazing. Next is felling of trees leading to deforestation. Slopes, strong winds and heavy rains. Now the next very important topic of today's session is ozone layer. What is the meaning of ozone layer? Ozone is triatomic O3 form of oxygen. You have already studied about oxygen. This is atom of oxygen. O2, this is oxygen gas, and O3 is ozone. O3 means ozone. This is triatomic form of oxygen. It is a bluish gas with pungent odor. The color of the gas is bluish and odor is very pungent, very bad smelling. It is highly poisonous and harmful to living organisms. Ozone is present in stratosphere region of the atmosphere. Now, what is ozone hole? In 1985, Farman et al. Found that ozone layer has thinned out over Antarctica. It was called ozone hole. Similar ozone hole was also found over Arctic region in 1987. That means from that part of ozone layer, this ozone, that means O3, is converted to O2 and atomic oxygen, and it also releases heat. Now, the substances which deplete ozone, they are called ozone depleting substances, ODS. CFCs, which means chlorofluorocarbons, halogens, carbon tetrachloride, chlorine, and oxides of nitrogen. All these are the ODS, which means ozone depleting substances. That means they create ozone hole. Now, effects of ozone depletion. What is the effect of ozone depletion? The ozone layer which is present in the stratosphere, if it get depleted, what are its effects? First is skin cancer. Next is damage of eyes, genetic disorders, embryonic mortality in humans and other animals. All these are the effects which are seen after the depletion of ozone layer. Now students, in next chapter we will start with biogeochemical cycles. Now from this topic you can prepare one write-up which should contain whole of the introduction of that topic along with extra knowledge. You can write this from your NCERT books along with some other reference books that you can follow. I have given you some notes, but you have not to completely follow these notes and just write these notes in your write up. You need more information and more your innovation to write that write up. A brief write up that should not exceed 3 sheets. After next video, I'll ask you to submit this write up in school. So please make your write up also include diagrams as well as pictures that you get from any source. Okay, do it very beautifully, decorate it, or just write properly in your own handwriting. Thank you very much.